Good day, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I'm Tim Eister, and welcome back to Rockport. In this episode, I'm super duper excited because I'm finally going to be finishing the entire downtown peninsula. All right, so this officially means by the end of this video that downtown is going to be complete. And that means that we're going to finally start to move a bit further out from downtown, start to build up into the burbs, into all the different boroughs of the city, and that to me is super exciting. Not that downtown was not good or anything like that. I actually really like this downtown, but I am just excited to start working on some individual unique projects out in the boroughs of the city. But honestly, guys, this, without a doubt, I can confidently say that this is the best downtown I've ever built in my City Skylines career. And so far, I've really fallen in love with Rockport. I dare say that it's the best city I've ever built in City Skylines. And it's crazy to say that because I've used nothing but vanilla assets. So that to me is super exciting. And I've really gotten into a groove with this city as per the amount of detailing that goes into it. I'm really liking how all my little neighborhoods and how each district looks. And I'm not going too crazy with the detailing. I'm not leaving anything too blank. You know, my goal for this city was really to be able to zoom out a little ways and for the city to look really, really cool. You know, maybe you'll notice some blemishes and some little spots that I may have rushed if you zoom in. But overall, you know, I think the city is properly detailed. And I am, like, my goal for this city, and it's always been my goal, I really want to just build out and sprawl out the city as much as I can and you know, to create a nice project, right? And in order to do that, I have to sacrifice a little bit on the super fine detailing. Otherwise, it would take me forever to finish this project. So, spoiler alert, whether or not you anticipated this, most of what you're going to see in this episode is medium density. I am going to make an effort to place as much residential buildings as I possibly can, because over the last 3 or 4 episodes, I've been trying to get that residential demand to come down, and it's just not cutting it. You know, I've placed so many jobs, so many industrial buildings and huge office buildings that at this point we pretty much need a city of like 50,000 probably to catch up with our you know, industrial and office demand. But you know, we'll get there eventually. I guess the biggest problem in the city at this point is a lack of jobs because there's just not enough people. But it's slowly getting better. The big industrial zone that we built a few episodes ago is no longer complaining that there's not enough workers. And what's cool too is that dirty industry is employing all of the uneducated people in the city. But we do have the university now, right? And I have plopped, I think, 1 elementary school somewhere and 1 high school. So there are some educated citizens in the city, but I think the vast majority are probably not. And the industrial port is doing okay as a result. But yeah, guys, so I just wanted to take a second to ask you guys what you would love to see me build in future episodes of Rockport, because I am moving away from downtown, and that's going to allow me a little bit more flexibility on what I can build. Now, I do already have a checklist of things I want to do. I want to build an airport. I want to build maybe a couple of universities. What else? I don't know what else. I haven't written anything down. I'm just kind of keeping a small list of things I want to do in my head. But all of those things are not popping into my head right now. So go ahead, guys. Leave me some suggestions on any like unique things that you would like to see me build out in the extremities of the city. I don't know, maybe like a racetrack or something would be cool. I was thinking of building another golf course at one point because, you know, cities typically have more than one golf course in their surroundings. So that is definitely on the agenda. But yeah, I'm just curious, guys, to see what you guys think and to hear all about your fantastic suggestions. So drop them down below. Also, I think I mentioned this in the last episode or maybe the episode before that. Traffic is becoming a huge problem in the city, like a really, really big problem. The downtown core is quite populous. You know, we're at 17, almost 18,000 people at this point. And the downtown is also very dense, super densely populated. Like, as you can see, all the buildings are tightly packed together. A lot of high-rise buildings are packed together, you know, so that leaves a lot of people in a very confined space. And the only way to get around right now is to drive. So I am going to have to make an episode sooner rather than later on the public transportation infrastructure of the city. I know we have a couple of metro stations and metro lines that I built. I made sure to leave some room for a bunch of stations and stuff, but they don't have any active lines. They're just kind of sitting there rotting, right? So I'm gonna have to spend some time to configure some public transportation lines. Got to get some bus networks going. You may have noticed that in the past number of episodes since downtown was started that I've made a little bit of an effort to place down a bunch of little bus stations all over. You know, there's some really nice compact bus stations that are included in the Promenades and DLC pack, and I've placed a few of those all around town just because you can kind of fit them anywhere. So that is going to really come in handy when it comes time to build the city's bus network. But yeah, I feel like the public transportation of the city is going to be an entire episode in itself. Like, even with just what we have so far, yeah, the city needs it. So maybe that'll be next episode. That's probably a good idea. But I don't know. We'll see. Something else might pop up. But yeah, we got to get into that. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I'm overall really excited about finishing the downtown. I have a ton of ideas for some residential areas around downtown, especially up in the mountains. And I have to build some of the neighborhoods that you guys suggested in earlier videos, right? You guys gave me a bunch of really nice names for some districts and some boroughs around town. So I want to make sure to not skimp over that. I certainly want to include you guys as much as I can in these videos. Leave me some comments down below too, guys. Any suggestions on what I can do to make to involve you guys more in the series? If there's any way that you guys would love to participate in I guess building the city, because so far I feel like the only thing that I've gotten you guys involved with was naming different areas and maybe a suggestion or two on what to build. Yeah, but yeah, I'd like to get you guys involved, and I really like when some of you guys make up like these lore stories, you know, about certain things or certain areas. That to me is like my favorite thing. So I don't know if you guys could come up with things like that. It's awesome. Now, as you can see over here, I've made it finally to the train station, well, the train/metro hub. I wasn't really sure what to build in front of it, but then I thought, might as well just build a nice open park. You know, this area of the map could use a nice park. And with this being like the grand main station of the city, I thought it would make it look nice. But I didn't spend too much time on it. I just quickly made this open park with the roundhouse out front here. I just thought that looked really cool. And I find in this series I'm often lucky when it comes to just browsing my building menus. You know, I'll often start building something and then I'm not sure like how it's going to turn out, and then I just happened to stumble on these unique buildings or whatever that would just look super cool. And yeah, I don't know, in this series specifically, I just find that everything just works out somehow, and it looks awesome. I'm not really sure if Auckland even has a big cathedral in its downtown. I haven't honestly looked at the city in a little bit on Google Maps. I've just been in this trance, and I'm doing my own thing, and yeah. But yeah, the cathedral that you saw me build a little earlier just kind of stood out to me because, you know, every city has a big old cathedral in its downtown, right? And you know, maybe that's just my Montreal inspiration coming through, because I've lived there for a little while, and you know, Montreal is the capital, the cathedral capital of the world, pretty much. But yeah, I just thought that it looked really cool, and I find it's one of the default unique buildings that looks the best. Like, I don't know, the textures that are used in it are just a smidge above a lot of the other default unique buildings. So I thought it would just fit in really well in the downtown area. And one thing that I did notice in Auckland when I was browsing through it on Google Maps is just how lush and green the city is. You don't have to go far out of downtown to find, you know, some nice green areas that are just full of trees and vines, and it's like overall the city is very like nestled into the woods, which I really like, and that is why I'm often placing trees pretty much everywhere I can fit them. You know, there's not a lot of like open green space too much in Rockport, maybe not as much as there should be, but I personally just like the look of cities that are nestled into like these old mature trees, and you know, with the vines and branches going everywhere. It's, I don't know, it's just like a personal preference, I guess, for me. And the specific area that I'm working on right now is pretty much just like a generic office park. It's kind of filler, to be honest, because I didn't think that there should be anything special in between these bridges here, and I felt like just like a low-rise office park would look the best. I was gonna put some old industry here because I think it would look cool, but I didn't necessarily want the pollution to start leaching into downtown and killing all the trees and stuff, so I vouched for a little office park with buildings that kind of look industrial. And I think these buildings blend quite well into the outskirts of downtown. And I'm really excited to get this train station working, you know? Like right now it's bringing in some people from the outside, but eventually I'd love to actually make some train lines going to different areas in the map, and maybe, you know, there's 5 or 6 lines coming into the station. I could probably make a dedicated line for each train line going through the city, because there's not going to be a ton. So that would look really cool, because then you'd have like multiple trains coming in and out on multiple rail lines. It would look pretty cool. But yeah, this is definitely one of the most remarkable landmarks of downtown. The one that probably occupies the most land, I would say. And it also creates a nice buffer between the industrial port and the rest of the city. It creates a buffer between, you know, for the air pollution. So not everybody in the area will get sick. So it's at this part in my building process that I start to realize, all right, you know, I've been focusing so heavily on making sure that I have enough residential that I've totally neglected my essential city services. So I have no schools, no fire stations, no nothing in downtown, and that's going to become a big problem. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes right now and just rummage through a lot of the areas that I just built up in this episode and plop down some essential buildings, some schools, hospitals, fire and police services, you know, because I've been saying since the very beginning of this series that I want the city to be functional, and, you know, of course you need all those essential services. But luckily, I was able to find some nice cozy spots for all of these essential buildings. And you may be thinking to yourself, all right, well, what about cemeteries? I thought about that, and I think it would look cool. I'm hoping to build a large cemetery in like the middle of the city. I don't know how I'm gonna do that because I'm literally limited to just the default cemeteries, but I'm confident I can maybe like Mickey Mouse something together to not look half bad. You know, maybe with some move it trickery and a lot of trees. I'm thinking I can make something work, but I'll just have to see and figure that out. But yeah, because I gotta get on that sooner than later, because if I don't, the city's just gonna go through a giant death wave. And, you know, the 1 or 2 cemeteries that are in the city right now are just not gonna cut it. So, yeah, I should probably get into that pretty soon. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much gonna do it for this episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. I honestly did. This was one of the funnest videos for me to make, because now I can zoom out and look at downtown and just gaze at its completedness. So yeah, it's all super exciting. So guys, as usual, thanks for watching. Leave a like and a comment, and if you enjoy my content overall, feel free to subscribe to the channel. And until the next episode, take care.